Going across to former Congress President Rahul Gandhi, who's addressing the press right now. Let's take a listen.
कोरोना एक इवॉल्विंग, बदलती हुई बीमारी है। जितना समय आप इसको देंगे, जितनी जगह आप इसको देंगे, उतना खतरनाक ये बनता जाएगा। मैंने पिछले साल फरवरी में कहा, जगह बंद कीजिए, कोरोना को आप समय मत दीजिए, जगह मत दीजिए, दरवाजा बंद कीजिए। कोरोना की जगह रोकने का क्या तरीका है? कोरोना आक्रमण कैसे करता है? सबसे पहले जिन लोगों के पास भोजन नहीं है, जो कमजोर हैं, उन पर यह आक्रमण करता है। कौन? हिंदुस्तान के गरीब। दूसरी तरफ जिनको कोमॉर्बिडिटीज हैं, जिनको डायबिटीज है, जिनको हार्ट डिजीज है, जो ओबीस हैं, उन पर आक्रमण करता है। और ये आस्ते आस्ते बदलता जाता है। जितनी आप इसको जगह देंगे, ये बदलेगा 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 और ज्यादा एफिशिएंट बनेगा। कोरोना के को रोकने के 3-4 तरीके हैं। उन तरीकों में से एक परमानेंट सॉल्यूशन है, वो है वैक्सीन। लॉकडाउन हथियार है, मगर इससे लोगों को कष्ट होता है, दुख होता है, दर्द होता है। तो ये सॉल्यूशन नहीं है, और ये टेम्पररी सॉल्यूशन है। सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग टेम्पररी सॉल्यूशन है, मास्क टेम्पररी सॉल्यूशन है, वैक्सीन परमानेंट सॉल्यूशन है। मगर अगर आपने वैक्सीन जल्दी नहीं की, तो वायरस आपकी वैक्सीन के पकड़ से निकल जाएगा, भाग जाएगा। क्योंकि अगर आप वायरस को हिंदुस्तान में चलने देंगे, रोकेंगे नहीं, वो म्यूटेट करता जाएगा, बदलता जाएगा, एफिशिएंट बनता जाएगा। वैक्सीन स्ट्रेटजी के बारे में मैंने डायरेक्टली प्रधानमंत्री को बोला कि अगर हिंदुस्तान ने वैक्सीन स्ट्रेटजी नहीं ठीक लगाई, एक बार नहीं, अनेक बार लोग मरेंगे। एक वेव नहीं आएगी, 2 वेव नहीं आएगी, 3 वेव नहीं आएगी, 4 वेव नहीं आएगी, आती जाएंगी, क्योंकि वायरस अडेप्ट करता जाएगा। अब स्थिति क्या है? कुछ ही समय पहले मैंने देखा, फॉरेन मिनिस्टर भाषण दे रहे हैं कि हिंदुस्तान ने अपना नाम बना लिया, अलग अलग देशों को हमने वैक्सीन दिया, वैक्सीन डिप्लोमेसी कर रहे हैं, हिंदुस्तान का नाम रोशन हो गया। आपने वैक्सीन एक्सपोर्ट की। आज स्थिति क्या है? हिंदुस्तान के 3% को आपने वैक्सीन दी, मतलब 97% लोग को कोरोना पकड़ सकता है। आपने दरवाजा खुला छोड़ रखा है, और अभी भी आप दरवाजा नहीं बंद कर रहे। 2 अलग अलग, 3 अलग अलग, 4 अलग अलग रेट्स बना रखे हैं। बिजनेस चल रहा है। बाकी देशों में एक रेट। अमेरिका ने अपना आधा पॉपुलेशन वैक्सीनेट कर दिया। ब्राजील जैसे देश ने 8%, 9% वैक्सीनेट कर दिया। वो वैक्सीन कैपिटल नहीं है, हम वैक्सीन कैपिटल हैं। हम वैक्सीन बनाते हैं, और यहां पे मैं आपको कह रहा हूं, ये जो सेकंड वेव है, फर्स्ट वेव ठीक है, उसमें बात समझ नहीं आई, वो अलग चीज है। मगर ये जो सेकंड वेव है, ये प्रधानमंत्री की जिम्मेदारी है। प्रधानमंत्री ने जो नौटंकी की, प्रधानमंत्री ने जो अपनी जिम्मेदारी पूरी नहीं की, इसका कारण सेकंड वेव है। और मैं देश को अभी बता रहा हूं, अगर वैक्सीनेशन इसी रेट पे चलता गया, मतलब आज के प्लान पे अगर आप चलें, तो मई 24 में हिंदुस्तान की पूरी जनता का वैक्सीनेशन होगा। अगर इस रेट पे वैक्सीनेशन चलता गया तो थर्ड वेव आएगी, फोर्थ वेव आएगी, फिफ्थ वेव आएगी। क्यों आएगी? क्योंकि आपका वायरस बदल जाएगा, म्यूटेट कर जाएगा। तो फिर से मैं दोहरा रहा हूं, वैक्सीनेशन स्ट्रेटेजी के बारे में सोचिए, वायरस को समझिए, और जिस प्रकार से आप काम कर रहे हैं उसको बदलिए, क्योंकि आपके काम करने के तरीके से लाखों लोग मरे हैं। और जो झूठ बोला जा रहा है, और मैं क्लियरली बता रहा हूं कि जो हमारी डेथ रेट है वो झूठ है, और सरकार इस झूठ को फैला रही है। ये झूठ फैलाने का समय नहीं है। अगर हमें कोरोना से लड़ना है तो हमें सच्चाई समझनी पड़ेगी और सरकार को सच्चाई बतानी चाहिए। राजनीतिक मामला नहीं है, हिंदुस्तान के भविष्य का मामला है, हमारे लोगों की जान बचाने का मामला है। और सरकार को समझना चाहिए कि हम उनके दुश्मन नहीं हैं, विपक्ष उनका दुश्मन नहीं है। विपक्ष उनको इंडिकेशन दे रहा है, विपक्ष उनको रास्ता दिखा रहा है। अगर फरवरी में बात सुन ली होती तो लाखों लोग नहीं मरते। तो ये मैं आपको बताना चाहता था। आप सवाल पूछिए, अगर आप चाहते हैं अंग्रेजी में तो मैं अंग्रेजी में भी बोल देता हूं।
Sir, if very briefly you can say in English, it will be helpful, sir, for those friends who come from southern part of the country.
It is important to understand we are fighting a war with corona. So if you're fighting a war with something, you have to understand what it is. It is important to understand that corona is not a single disease. It is an evolving disease. It changes, it transforms. And the only way to stop corona is to remove the space within which it moves. To not give it time to move. There are some temporary ways to fight corona, and then there are permanent ways to fight corona. The temporary ways, what I consider to be a brutal way, but possibly required under certain circumstances, is what we are going through today: lockdown in Delhi, lockdown in other parts of the country, social distancing, sanitization, masks. These are temporary measures, and they do not stop the virus. They postpone the virus. They slow the virus down. So, for example, when we get rid of the lockdown, the virus will start to work again. It will start to evolve again. It will start to redesign itself. The only permanent way we have of fighting the virus is a vaccine. And it is important to understand, the more time we give the virus, the more space we give the virus, the more likely it is to defeat our vaccine. The more likely it is to mutate and come in another form. And the tragedy is that the government is not understanding the nature of what they're fighting. The government is under the impression that they're fighting the opposition. When it comes to corona, we are on the government's side. I have been saying since February, please understand what you're facing. Understand what this will do to people who do not have enough calories. Give them food. Understand what will happen when those people go back home to the villages. Understand what happens to people with comorbidities. Understand the dangers of the mutation of this virus, not only to India, to the rest of the world. You're creating a liability for the whole planet. Why? Because you are allowing 97% of the population to be attacked by corona. 3% of people have been vaccinated. Half of America is vaccinated. 10%, 8 to 10% of Brazil is vaccinated. What are you doing? You're helping the virus. You're telling the virus, we are not going to vaccinate our population. Do your work, evolve, mutate so you can kill more people. 3% of India is vaccinated. Multiple different prices for the vaccination. Different people paying different things. Speculation going on vaccines. At what cost? I'm 100% certain that every single journalist who's watching this press conferences and the press conference has lost somebody. The government is responsible. The Prime Minister is responsible. Clap your hands. Shine your mobile phone. We have defeated corona. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what is going on. It's ignorance. And what I'm again requesting the government, get your vaccination strategy in order. Do not give the virus space to mutate. It is going to kill again. Lockdown is a temporary solution. The moment you open lockdown, the virus will prepare itself. And I guarantee you, at 3% vaccination, we are going to get a third wave. And it is going to be more brutal than the second wave. And if we continue to leave the space open, if we do not shut the door on the virus, if we do not shut the space for it to mutate, there'll be a fourth wave and a fifth wave. And then there is a chance the vaccine won't work. Everybody says, when I speak, everybody says, oh no, Rahul Gandhi is frightening people. No, I'm not frightening people. I'm trying to save people. When I spoke in February, I was trying to save my country people. I was scared for them. I was worried for them. I didn't want to see what I had to see over the last 2-3 months. And so as journalists, it is your duty to put pressure on the government. Don't lie about the number of people who died. You're lying. No. You're lying. You're lying to the people of India. And when you lie, you give the virus space. When you don't tell the truth, you give the virus space. Stop giving the virus space. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We'll take questions one by one. Can I start with the news agency PTI? Mr. Sanjeev, if you can come in, please unmute Sanjeev ji.
Yeah, thank you, Randeep ji. Morning, Rahul ji. I hope you're doing good.
I'm okay.
Yeah, Rahul ji, as you said, going by the current rate of vaccinations, it will take a long time for a majority population to get vaccinated. Where would that leave India in the wake of a third wave, which experts are predicting would come in the next 6 months? Would India continue to remain vulnerable and protected? And many experts have also said that India opened up vaccinations for adults too soon, and this derailed the ongoing drive for priority groups. Was this the right thing to do, as Congress had supported the opening up early?
Look, I've spoken since February. I've been speaking to expert after expert after expert on corona. And I've been trying to understand what it is and how we deal with it. Please understand that if you allow 97% of people to be potential victims of corona, your vaccine will not work. Because by the time you have come to 10, 15, 20% vaccination, the virus will have mutated. It will have gone somewhere else. The disease that is attacked in the second wave is a different disease than the disease that attacked in the first wave. We are lucky right now that this second disease is still under the umbrella of the virus. The third disease or the fourth disease that comes might not be. And it might be a much more dangerous disease, as the second disease was much more dangerous disease than the first disease. They all call corona, but they behave differently. So what corona is doing, it is testing, it is dynamic, and it is moving, it's learning. And what we have to do is we have to stop the space for it to learn. You have to make sure that your vaccination numbers shoot up. If you do not vaccinate at a much more dramatic rate, your vaccination potentially will not work. And my understanding, and the understanding of experts who I've spoken to, is the current rate of vaccination, 3%, almost guarantees a third wave when the lockdown goes, which is completely unnecessary. Because if your vaccination was at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60%, you wouldn't have a third wave. You certainly wouldn't have a fourth wave and a fifth wave. Now, the problem is there is no strategy. The Prime Minister doesn't think strategically. He's an event manager. He thinks one event at a time. So for him, if people say, we want these people to be vaccinated, suddenly makes an event and says, yes, let's get these people to be vaccinated. If we want this to happen, suddenly makes an event and says, let's make this. You don't need events now. Events are going to kill people. You need a strategy. And what's the aim of the strategy? Shut the space for corona. Don't close the space. Wherever you find corona can go, shut it down. Use a vaccine, use social distancing, use masks, use whatever you can, but shut the space down. The more time you leave, the more space you leave for the virus, the more dangerous it's going to become. It's going to keep improving.
Thank you, sir. Can I go to Siddharth from ANI? Siddharth, please come in.
नमस्कार सर. सर मेरा सवाल आपसे ये है कि जो डेथ रेट है, जो मौत के आंकड़े हैं, वो गलत हैं, वो झूठे हैं. तो क्या आपको लगता है कि इसमें कई कांग्रेस शासित राज्य भी हैं, कई ऐसे राज्य भी हैं जहां आप लोगों की सरकार है, सपोज महाराष्ट्र है, पंजाब?
मैंने अपने चीफ मिनिस्टर से पर्सनली बात की और मैंने उनसे कहा कि देखिए, झूठ बोलने से नुकसान होगा. जरूर डेथ रेट सच्ची दिखेगी तो लोगों को डिस्टर्बेंस होगी जरूर, मगर रियलिटी को एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि अगर हम रियलिटी को एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे हम वायरस को रोक नहीं पाएंगे. तो मैंने छत्तीसगढ़ चीफ मिनिस्टर से, बाकी चीफ मिनिस्टर से बात की और कहा, देखिए आप लोग सच्चाई रखिए, क्योंकि सच्चाई हमारा दोस्त है. सच्चाई से हमें फीडबैक मिल रहा है, सच्चाई हमारी मदद करेगी.
Alright, speaking to the press, that Rahul Gandhi is saying that there is going to be a third wave and it's going to be more deadly than the second one if this continues, is what Rahul Gandhi has said. We listen in to Rahul Gandhi again. Listen in.
The government is responsible. The Prime Minister is responsible. Clap your hands. Shine your mobile phone. We have defeated corona. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of what is going on. It's ignorance. And what I'm again requesting the government, get your vaccination strategy in order. Do not give the virus space to mutate. It is going to kill again. Don't lie about the number of people who died. You're lying. No. You're lying. You're lying to the people of India. Because
They're
when you
raising
lie,
some
you give
several.
the virus space. When you don't tell the truth, you give the virus space.
All right, Rahul Gandhi, they're raising some pertinent points as far as the management of the COVID-19 situation in the country is concerned. Importantly, he said the government has ignored all warnings of the second wave of COVID-19. He's also spoken about the vaccination program in the country. He's made an attack on the Prime Minister, saying that Prime Minister Modi is responsible for this wave. You gave away vaccine doses you should not have. At 3% of vaccination, we will in fact see more cases of COVID. A third wave in the country, a lockdown is not a permanent solution. It's a temporary solution, and we have to prepare for the third wave. This is your opportunity. Vaccinate more people. You should have done this earlier. You did not do it, and hence you invited trouble, is what Rahul Gandhi has said. He's also underscored the shortage of vaccine doses in the country. COVID deaths because of the failure of the Modi government. He's also said there is undercounting of deaths in the country and that the government must speak the truth. The government of India ignored all warnings as far as the second wave of the virus was concerned, is what Rahul Gandhi, opposition leader, member of parliament from Wayanad in Kerala, their former Congress president, telling the press in an interaction with the media there. Why did the government send the vaccines outside India when you knew that we require doses here? So there was a fault. There was a problem with your vaccination strategy. This is your opportunity to rectify it, is what Rahul Gandhi is saying.